So, I think I'm having a Christmas sale at naturalhealthycbd.com. Apparently my merch is on sale for Christmas. So, stocking stuffers. I got shirts and stuff. And maybe the hat is now reasonably priced. Hey, go check it out. And Egocast 10 is the code for 10% off any purchases you make. But my stuff is on sale. So if you're looking for a good time to buy the merch cheap, now is the time. Merry Christmas. Alright, so I find this terribly interesting, and I would like to share it with you. And we will discuss it, and comments will be made, and it will be fun.
You're watching a skilled player play Super Mario World, but this player is not human. It's a computer program I wrote called Mario. This program started out knowing absolutely nothing about Super Mario World or Super Nintendo's. In fact, it didn't even know that pressing right on the controller would make the player go towards the end of the level. It learned all of these things through a process called neuroevolution. In this video, I want to teach you about how Mario learned to beat this level, Donut Plains 1, what his brain looks like, and how it's all based on actual biological evolution. So let's start out by actually looking at Mario's brain.
See what I mean? Real interesting stuff.
Let's play it again, but this time we'll look at Mario's brain as it's making the decisions of what buttons to press. It's going to look a bit complicated at first, but don't worry, I'll help break it down for you.
And don't worry, he's one of those guys that when he says that, like, he actually does it, so it's actually pretty easy to follow.
This structure of colored lines and blinking boxes is called a neural network. It's a simple mathematical model for how a brain works, but it can produce some very complicated behavior. With enough computational power, a neural network could come close to simulating a real human brain, but modern technology isn't there yet.
And honestly, I don't think it's ever going to be there. Because you can't simulate emotion. And that's a very, very important thing to remember through the course of this video. You can't simulate that shit. People's emotions is very complex and nuanced beyond belief. And to get a computer to be able to simulate that, I just don't ever see that happening. I don't know. Call me crazy.
On the left side you have the inputs. This is what Mario sees. It's a simplified view of the level. The white squares stand for blocks the player can stand on, and the black squares stand for moving objects like enemies or mushrooms.
It's a very important thing to remember through the course of this. That little box. White boxes, or white blocks, and black blocks, right? And a little red line. That's all it sees. Black and white and one red line. That's a very important thing to remember.
On the right side, you have the outputs. These are the 8 buttons that Mario is able to press by using its neural network.
That's also very important to remember, because that has to be programmed by people. So people have to tell it what it needs to think. It learns from there, but it's still all pre-programmed to do a certain specific thing and to only recognize certain specific things. Very important to remember.
In between the inputs and the outputs, all those lines and boxes, those are the neural network. Each free-floating box is called a neuron, and the lines connecting those boxes are like the axons and dendrites in a human brain. At any given time, only some of these neurons and connections are actually being used, and this is what people talk about when they say you only use 10% of your brain. The neural network you're seeing is a pretty complicated one, and it got so complicated as a result of a 24-hour evolutionary learning session. So, to explain how neural networks work, let's rewind about 24 hours and look at how the whole process started.
Now we're not going to watch this whole thing. I've cut it up a little bit, but there are some things that are pertinent to the point I'm trying to make, so we are going to continue to watch a little bit of this.
This is what Mario looked like at the beginning of its training session, all the way back in generation number 0. The program is probably even dumber than you thought at this point. Often it just stands there and doesn't even press any buttons. If Mario stands still for too long, it'll cut off a simulation and try the next neural network, so it's mostly just jumping from one simulation to the next. But occasionally, the neural network says to press the right button, and the player starts walking right. The behavior isn't complicated, but it's enough to make at least some progress in the level. Let's take a look at a sample neural network to understand just how that works. This is one of the randomly generated neural networks that appeared in the first generation of the simulation. There are some green lines and a red line, and one neuron in the middle. Here's how it works. A green line is a positive connection, and a red line is a negative connection. A green line reading from a black or white square will turn its output the same color. A red line reading from a black or white square will turn its output the opposite color. In this case, the green lines read from the platform that the player is standing on, and make the neural network press the right button as long as the player is standing on it. However, when the red line reads a black square representing one of those Caped Koopas, it presses the A button and makes the player jump. This puts the player in a position where the green lines are no longer reading a white square, so the right button turns off and Mario just stands there. This is a really basic example that illustrates how a more complicated neural network might operate. The more lines and neurons you have, the more nuanced the decisions can be. So, how exactly do we get those more complicated neural networks? The answer is evolution. When Mario gets further right on the screen, its fitness goes up. In this case, fitness is a function of how far right it gets and how quickly it gets there. Only the neural networks that produce the highest fitness are selected to be bred, creating the next generation.
So that's an important thing to take into consideration as well. It has to have a goal in mind. And it's always going to want to do its goal as best as possible. So that's kind of how it learns. It's very interesting. I think it's very interesting. But why the fuck am I talking about this? Well, let's find out.
The study also discovered was that videos that did get demonetized significantly got less traction than videos that were monetized, at least if they have lower viewership.
So what our research shows is that demonetized videos, especially with lower viewership, are less promoted than monetized videos with the same viewership, to a very great extent. Such a significant difference can only be caused if YouTube is actively devaluing demonetized videos using some sort of function. So videos with lower viewership can't compete against monetized videos.
Yeah. And that sucks.
But as the views gets higher, more and more videos are able to push through, despite the devaluation, thereby causing the visible pattern in the graph, which otherwise would not exist.
So basically, videos like mine should technically push through even if they do get demonetized. But if you have a smaller channel, goodbye.
Fuck.
You need some prior knowledge. And if you watched my last video on AI,
You don't need to, because we just watched the most important pertinent part.
then you will easily understand this video. Isn't that great? Because YouTube, the way YouTube runs its recommendation system and their demonetization system is run through an AI. A deep neural network, which we know what that is. It's a self-taught AI.
It's pretty much exactly the same thing as the Mario. Mario AI. Pretty the same fucking thing.
Which basically means it's not YouTube going, hey, do this, okay? Huh? It's a entity. If people didn't fear AI before, just think of how much I fear the YouTube recommendation AI.
Yeah, dude, Skynet is real and it's fucking up YouTube.
Oh, it's really interesting because a neural network needs a goal, an incentive. They work just like human beings, if you know, because you watched my video. For example, the Mario self-taught AI, which was an AI that taught itself how to play Mario, its incentive, which was named in this case fitness, was increased by walking in the right axis.
Everybody remember that, right? I told you it was going to be important.
You see the fitness increases, that's his goal. And then through trial and error, Mario improves and can play the game better. YouTube's recommendation works in the exact same way, or in at least very similar, where its incentive is based on watch time. The AI takes videos that they think will increase the watch time, tests it on a few people. Did it increase watch time? If the answer is yes, throw it, here's the video to everyone, because it increases watch time on YouTube. This one was demonetized. Most likely, go away, okay?
Yeah, see, because a human programmed it to work that way. Therein lies the problem. The human ultimately is programming the robot. So if the robot thinks that everything is shit, it's because the person said, this is all shit. Don't bother with this. So, that guy's an asshole. Just saying.
And it's a really interesting solution to this problem, because if you solely based video recommendation on likes, then controversial videos wouldn't make it to recommended. But at least now we can better understand why demonetized videos doesn't get recommended, or why they don't get as many views, because recommended is a huge part of our viewership, since YouTube has really thrown out the whole subscription idea more and more out the window. Because their goal is to increase watch time. That's what's gonna give them better ads, and it makes sense.
It does make sense. They're trying to push the YouTube TV thing, and they want their YouTube platform specific programming to be very popular YouTubers and movies and shit. That's why you got Logan Paul in that one fucking movie, and you got the stupid take to the Joey Graceffa thing, the fucking whatever I see a goddamn million ads for all the fucking time. There's that shit. And that's what YouTube's gonna turn into. So yeah. Like I kinda to me, romantically the idea of it is cool to me, because it's like I'm an underground channel, like I'm a pirate fucking channel on cable. You know what I mean? Like, I like that I'm underground and I get passed around. Because, that's the way that, like, music used to be back in the day. And now you have so much access to music all the time. Anything you want to hear. You just gotta fucking look at it. It's right there. So you got all that. You don't really have to, there really is none of that kind of shit. There's things that are underground, but they turn popular really quick and they fizzle out and whatever. But, yeah, so it's kind of cool that maybe it might go that direction. You know what I mean? Where it's like everybody's dirty little secret that I watch this channel. That Sargon guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to just look on the bright side. Probably.
I will say Tom Scott did a video about this where he explains how the YouTube algorithm works. He explains this 1,000 times better than I do, but I did find it really interesting how he pointed out that the flaw in this AI, which is that even though its goal is to increase watch time, it can't determine what the quality of the video is. It doesn't know exactly what the video is about. What does it contain?
'Cause remember,
on the left side, you have the inputs. This is what Mario sees. It's a simplified view of the level. The white squares stand for blocks the player can stand on, and the black squares stand for moving objects like enemies or mushrooms.
So, pretty much, the algorithm is racist. All the stuff that it sees as white, it likes, and all the stuff it sees as black, it doesn't like. But black to it is any violent actions or anything like that, or certain keywords said over and over again, stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? It can't see the nuance of the conversation. It can't tell the tone because it's reading text. How many times have you gotten into a fight with somebody because they sent you a text and you thought it was fucked up and they weren't coming off fucked up? They were just asking a question or making a statement or whatever. And then you got into a fight with them over a fucking text that you misread the tone of because You can't fucking tell the tone of a text. Like, yeah. So that's one of the major problems with the fucking algorithm. It doesn't see nuance. It doesn't see colors. It only sees black and white.
And that's what it's been trying to do now with the demonetization in picture, where the AI will scan the video, it will scan the thumbnail. We know there's technology to do this. We can use an example here. Here's my thumbnail. It's a person. It's okay. It scans the title, it scans the description, the tags, and the caption to determine if the video is monetizable or not. Because there's no way YouTube would be able to do this on all its content, because it is so much is uploaded on YouTube every single day. It needs an AI to fully function.
Which is true. There's no way that people... I mean, it's billions of videos every day get uploaded. Fucking no way that people can go through that. So this makes total sense to me. It was the one thing that always bugged me about thinking that people were involved in this at all, was that the amount of people it would take would be ridiculous. So either somehow Google has just miraculously figured out how to solve, joblessness in this country, worldwide. Just put people in front of TVs watching YouTube all day. But yeah, so I totally get that this is a fucking AI doing that. I really see it now. It's all clicking in my head.
But I find it really interesting how he points out the flaw in AI.
It can't tell the difference between videos that are suitable for children, made with education in mind, and creepy, trademark infringing, unofficial efforts. It just knows what kids click on and what they watch.
Yeah, so there you go. Another inherent problem in the system, having an AI look at it. Because, again, it's looking at a cartoon. Can't tell that cat is fucking that rabbit. It's watching a cartoon, yeah, that's a big problem with it. And then there's another little aspect of it that sucks, because it is a learning AI. It is evolving. So it's changing its mind a lot. And that is also creating some problems, which I've got Noel Plum here. He shows a great example of it. I've seen this too with my videos. I don't really look at analytics very much anymore. I have noticed that my analytics are very strange, and I will be discussing that at the end of the video. But right now, I got Noel here to show you screenshots of what he did, his little research. So I think also very interesting.
Let me show you, and I wish
weird fish
that I'd compiled, that I took screen grabs over the past few weeks, because then you'd see more of the extent of what I'm saying. But this is just, let me just show you this, right? I'll throw them up here. Let me just show you this here. That these are just concentrate on the top 4 videos. Okay, so this was just before I set live the UK Prime Minister's End Pay Gap Once and For All Pledge Debunked video to live. Just before I set it live, all the metadata, footnotes, and that was already there. The only thing that changes from this screen is that I just changed the thumbnail. That's all that changed from this point on. Look at those top 4 videos. The quarterings video I recorded and released almost straight away. That started off green for about 12 hours, then went yellow, hence I've requested a review. The one down from there, that started off as green. Still haven't set it live. It was green for about 12 hours and then went yellow. So I've requested a review on that one. The next one down was a hangout. After that hangout finished and it went as a video, it started off yellow, but then went green within about half an hour, and then went yellow again. And at the yellow, when it went yellow again, I requested a review. So you can see they've all got reviews outstanding. The fourth one doesn't have a review outstanding because it's green. But actually it does have a review outstanding, because what you can't see is when I uploaded that one, it was yellow. So I requested a review. But then it went green because that one had been on there. That's been on there for about a week. Okay. So look at this. Then I set the video live. You can see at this point, it's only just been set live. Okay. and it's got 62 views. So that's probably after about 3 or 4 minutes, 15, 20 views a minute right at the start, okay? And it's gone yellow. It's gone yellow. The only thing I've changed is the thumbnail, but it's gone yellow. At the moment, I did what they said. It was yellow. I requested a review. It went green. But then as soon as I've released it, it's gone yellow. And look what it says underneath it. It says review requested. I haven't re-requested a review. That's the original request, and this is part of the problem. If the algorithm sets it green while you've requested a review, if it's the algorithm, not a manual review, that set it green, you don't get that manual review, and then you're at the whim of the algorithm, which at any moment can set it yellow again.
And here's where I kind of want to, here's where I want to throw in another part from the first video, where it kind of illustrates this sort of thing happening, the flip-flop, the back and forth.
As I close out the video, let's take a look at the fittest neural network in each generation. It's kind of cool how sometimes you can see them make modifications to each other and improve performance, but sometimes an entirely new species becomes prominent and dominates the others.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Except when it's fucking you in the ass.
Now look at this. That stands at 62 views. Notice that post-anti-theism debate, okay, that is still yellow requesting a review. Look at this, just a handful of minutes later, you know that, because the Prime Minister's end pay gap once and for all is at 139 views, so it's only literally 5 minutes or less further down the line. The post-anti-theism debate has turned green. Why? I have absolutely no idea, but there's every chance that that will turn yellow again. If we now fast forward another day and a half, the quarterings video has now turned green. So 2 videos there have turned green. Had they had a manual review, I would have had an email to say they've had a manual review. So they haven't had a manual review. That is the algorithm that has already turned them from yellow to green and back to yellow again, has now turned them back to green, and they still haven't had a manual review. Now the problem with that is that to have that manual review, your video at the moment, due to the sheer weight of people requesting reviews, has to be getting at least 1,000 views a week. So effectively, unless you've got a huge channel, what you need is that review to be carried out in the first few days of the video being live. Because if you have a slow burner that's then going to get you maybe 2,000 views a month every month, or 1,000 views a month every month, that will never ever attract that review. Even though that could be bringing you in $1 or a couple of dollars every month, but it never gets enough views to trigger that review. So effectively, the algorithm is stifling you from getting the review that you request.
Essentially, the problem with that is the way the viewership goes on YouTube, for the most part, is you get like 90-some% of your views in the first couple of days, and then from there you're lucky if you get anything. But it all comes from the suggested. Like, just to show this, when things were really going good for my channel, my subscribed views versus unsubscribed was like 75-25. It was mostly unsubscribed people that were giving me the most watch time. Now it has flipped completely the other way. So ever since I started getting little yellow dots, not so many new people are seeing me all that often. But it's okay. Like, when it comes down to it, my analytics really haven't changed, except for subscribers, and that's it. I'm not getting any new subscribers, but I'm still getting as many views as I've always gotten on average. I'm still averaging pretty much the same watch time. It fluctuates, but I mean, it fluctuates. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So everything's kind of still running status quo for me, except I'm hemorrhaging subscribers because, you know, every once in a while YouTube goes, hey, you're not subscribing to him anymore, and it does that shit. And I don't know how many that gives, but I'm also sure that there's people that are just like, he's not really going to talk about Joy ever again, so I don't care. You know, that happens too. But I'm not getting any traction with any of my videos, so I'm not getting any new people watching. And that sucks the fat one. But I like to try and stay optimistic with shit. So I want to show one more clip from the first video that gave me kind of hope.
It took 34 generations of genetic breeding and fitness evaluation before Mar.io was able to finish the level without dying and get a fitness score above 4,000. You can see there were several places it got stuck for a few generations, but it always evolved out of those ruts.
See, that's awesome. It always evolved out of those ruts. But I think we're asking too much of it. We're asking it to figure out tone by reading text. I don't know. Maybe they should incorporate the like ratio and dislike ratio. Stuff like that. I think that would be very interesting. But I'm sure that YouTube wouldn't want to stifle Francesca Ramsey. Because God knows my like to dislike ratio is like 98%. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. And it's the thing you gotta deal with. Until it becomes... Every show is Joey Crucephala. And fucking... probably not Logan Paul anymore, but, that kind of shit. And that's all you're gonna fucking really be able to find. That, and the news, and, your favorite music video, and stuff like that. But the stuff that I would think most people watch YouTube for, that shit's gonna be gone. Because those creators are gonna be like, can't do anything. So, new people coming in, good fucking luck. God bless. Wish luck for me too. I'm going to have a fight on my hands. But I think I've kind of figured out my way around it. I piggyback onto other people. See, like I put PewDiePie in this video. So I could put PewDiePie in tags. And then that might come up in somebody's PewDiePie search. And they might watch my video. And they might like it. And they might watch more videos. And they might tell their friends. Dude, it's a marathon. This shit is not a race. And I'll always make videos as long as it's fun for me. It doesn't cost me anything really to do this but time. And I'm really not doing anything better with myself. So fuck, I might as well do something. This is going to be my legacy. This will be all that's left of me. Until YouTube shuts it down. But, whatever. But if you're asking yourself if there's anything that you can do to see this happen, to help people, here you go.
Now is a great time if you want to support your creators. Buy their merch, support their Patreon, especially if they are smaller. Hopefully the AI will improve. That's what they're saying, and that's how self-taught neural networks work.
There you go. Like and share and all of that. Because, I think really that's going to be the way it's going to wind up turning out. And I think it's going to be kind of cool. It's going to be grassroots, man. You're going to get YouTubers that are going to be like, please tell all your friends about me if you like my content. And they're going to get a lot of like-minded people, so they're going to get a lot of viewers. They're not going to get the average idle subscriber that hits the button once because they thought something was funny in one video they watched but never watches you again. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how it evolves. We're people. We evolve. And we will evolve with this AI. And we will figure out ways to fuck with it. You're going to get people that are going to be like, if you like this video, please play it on repeat all day long in the background somewhere. Just run my view time up. And you're going to get people that are going to do it and shit like that, and people will figure out how to fuck with the algorithm, and you put up, I don't know, something frilly in the background, and it does not do. Because after all, it is a machine. It doesn't understand what's going on. It has no clue what the context of the conversation actually is. It's looking for keywords. So, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm intrigued by all this. I'm not in a position where this is really fucking me. Like, I got a job, and you know, that sucks, and I hate that. But really, that's my fitness. You know what I mean? That's my motivation. That's my watch time counter. I want to not have to work for a living. It's not, I'm not really altruistic with all this. So I'm in a position where I can kind of go, this is kind of cool. But there are some people, a lot of people, that are fucked. Because they're hoping that this is going to be their thing. Or they're right on the fucking edge, but they just can't tip it over, you know. It sucks to be that guy. But that ain't me. So,